right here on Live Now from Fox as we continue. This is still a very fluid situation, but Hunter Biden was in court and is still in court right now. What he was expecting to do was enter a guilty plea of after a years-long federal investigation there. It was set up to be this plea deal, but now appears to be off the table.
Hunter Biden is going to trial. Why? Greed. That's it, plain and simple. Let me explain. Look, let's make a long story short. Hunter Biden's life has been a troubled one. Some of fate's making. He lost his mother and his sister when he was a young boy. Most people are particularly close to their mothers, so I'm sure we could only imagine this sort of damage. But his brother became Attorney General of the state of Delaware, and his father became President of the United States. So that tragedy has very short legs if it's going to be turned into an excuse. And make no mistake, a lot of Hunter Biden's issues are of his own creation. He's a self-proclaimed crackhead.
This guy, for reasons I'll never understand, films himself doing the creepiest things, including arguing with a woman about the size of his crack stash.
So I just laid out the bag. It's 2.06.
2.07 without the bag.
How long is
2.0.
An alcoholic, and not quite a womanizer, but in the neighborhood, as he started an unspeakable relationship with his deceased brother's wife, his former sister-in-law. If that isn't tasteless, I don't know what is. Furthermore, he attended the finest schools in the country, graduating both from Georgetown University and Yale Law. And what did he do with his big fancy law degree? His brother Beau, who tragically passed from brain cancer, may he rest in peace, was Attorney General of the state of Delaware. Hunter, however, became a lobbyist who basically, soon after law school, was on the grift, influence peddling, collecting real dollars from not the most reputable companies, from online gambling operations to colleges looking for federal funds, eventually accumulating in international lobbying the US government for international concerns, specifically those in China and the Ukraine. International lobbying is a legally fraught field, asking the US government for money or favors on behalf of murky, possibly state-owned enterprises is not a good idea if you want to stay out of the crosshairs of the FBI and the Justice Department. But Hunter Biden, for all of his education and strong family background, did anyway. Not to mention he failed to pay his taxes on time on multiple occasions, and the coup de grace, he successfully purchased a gun at a gun shop while lying on his application. This virtual cornucopia of shady dealings, financial mismanagement, and everyday crimes, including drug use and lying to obtain a firearm, on top or lobbying for foreign powers, finally caught up to Hunter Biden. The Department of Justice, in the interest of appearing to apply the law equally, though I don't know anyone who could smoke crack and buy a gun under false pretenses and not immediately be in jail, had to file charges. But as in most cases, a plea deal was reached. However, the plea deal was so poorly written that it was rejected by the federal judge, Mary Ellen Noriega, after 3 hours of examination. The long and short of it is that Hunter Biden's lawyers believed he was offered a plea deal with immunity for all potential offenses now and in the future, including all potential charges around lobbying for foreign powers. However, the Department of Justice believed the plea deal only covered the pedestrian offenses, namely crack and the gun charge and the failure to file taxes, all of which would put a normal person away for years. Don't believe me? Ask Wesley Snipes. So when the judge got down to the nitty-gritty and asked the DOJ lawyers if their immunity deal included international lobbying charges, and the DOJ said it didn't, Hunter Biden's lawyers said it did. When the DOJ refused to concur on such a vast immunity deal, the plea agreement was off and the case was slated to proceed to trial. Namely because Hunter Biden wanted such a vast immunity deal that the deal was called off. Greedy! So why should this matter to you? First of all, it speaks to the fairness of the justice system and the unfairness. The fairness is that currently the Biden administration has 2 special prosecutors looking into it. One for Biden's failure to return documents to the government after his vice presidency under the Obama administration was over, and a new one for Hunter Biden's wide-ranging alleged crimes. This negates the idea that the Department of Justice only investigates the Trump administration. Now, How hard the DOJ will press the Biden administration versus the Trump administration remains to be seen. And the charges are in no way, shape, or form close in the level of seriousness. After all, a crack-smoking, well-educated grifter, in the government's eyes, is nowhere close to the threat of the leading presidential candidate that attempted to stay in office by the power of the mob. One is a threat to himself and his family's reputation, possibly a minor national security impediment. I'm sure Hunter Biden is all over every clandestine service's radar. The other poses a real, credible, and possibly dangerous threat to the existence of American democracy itself. There's no comparison between these two in the level of threat. There's just no comparison. However, the DOJ is looking into both of them. But let's be real. Does anyone think Joe Biden is going to let his son, his last son, go to prison no matter what the crime? No. Just like Donald Trump would never let his son rot in a federal jail when he had the power to stop it. I personally don't believe any father would. I mean, after all, if Donald Trump pardoned rapper Kodak Black, who thinks he wouldn't pardon one of his own family? And Joe Biden is in the exact same boat. It's called a father's love. But the important thing is to see the vast difference in the way Hunter Biden or any child of the rich, powerful, and connected is treated versus the average American. There are kids all over this country, kids 17, 18, 19, 20, who are arrested and sent to jail for having a rock or two of crack.
If you have a piece of crack cocaine no bigger than this quarter that I'm holding in my hand, 1/4 of $1, we passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says if you're caught with that, you go to jail for 5 years. You get no probation, you get nothing other than 5 years in jail. Judge doesn't have a choice.
5 years minimum, but I guess that was for the poor kids in the projects, not the entitled fail son of a US Senator, Vice President, and now President.
Or being in a car with an unregistered firearm. And yet when there is a 50-year-old son of a president who smokes crack on camera, doesn't pay his taxes, buys a gun, and then is basically a high-level influence peddler for a foreign adversary's state-owned enterprise that is a growing, clear, and present danger, he is still allowed to walk around free? What does that tell us about our justice system? Hey, listen, I appreciate you being here. Please hit that like button. Please smash that subscribe button. I love making these videos for you guys, and I want to continue doing so. And your likes and your subscribes mean a lot to me. And they really mean a lot to Google, too. Like, more people can see it if you like it. So please like it and please subscribe, okay? Take it easy. Peace.